I am gaming. I am gaming. I am gaming podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being on the latest episode of I Am Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, and many more cool things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. This is episode 98, which is pretty amazing. Only 2 episodes until episode 100. And thank you so much for being here for I Am Gaming Podcast. The biggest thanks goes to my Patreon supporters. You really make this podcast possible, and it would not be possible without you. So I'm super thankful. You're all awesome, and please, everyone else, check out my Patreon supporters and their amazing ventures in the description below. There are links that will take you to their YouTube channels, Twitch streams, games, Steam pages, and so much more. All of it is beyond cool, and really a big thanks for being here for me. If you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon page as well. Now this, in episode 98, this is going to be a short and sweet, hopefully, introduction into my new and latest project, which I'm starting in the coming weeks and months, which will be a game. A full-on video game that will be hopefully playable and interesting, and at least not completely terrible, which will focus on exploring emotional spaces. Now I know that this sounds a bit pompous and a bit unclear, and it is both of these things, but in essence it's going to be something like an explorational racing game where you'll control a vehicle that will allow you to experience different spaces around you. And being that I'm a game designer and game design teacher, but also a psychologist, practices psychology and has clinical experience, it's going to be something that will help, or at least try to focus on the exploration of emotions that are related to those spaces. It's not going to be something very experimental. It's not going to be something that is very competitive. I'm doing that because basically I don't know Unreal Engine that much, and I'm planning on making all of this in Unreal Engine. It's going to be more of a gamified experience of an exploration, which will have its end goal. It will have something that you need to do to get through the same experience, but it's not going to include any kind of mechanic that uses scores or points or anything like that. It's going to be a basically short narrative experience set in kind of this spatial and emotional universe of, I'm guessing, symbolism and a few topics that I plan to explore through that symbolism, but all of that is still on a very big and very vague drawing board. Hopefully I will flesh it out as the months go by, but I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to name the project pretty soon, or at least figure out how could it be named as a work in progress type of thing. And I plan to really give it my best shot. So far I did a lot of work in Unreal Engine, and I still feel I know very little about it, which is kind of annoying and not something that I'm really happy about, but still it is something that should help me through this project of creating this gamified experience or game of exploring emotional spaces that will help or focus on this type of exploration. And hopefully I will create something that is not completely terrible. I'm planning on making it for at least around a year, maybe a little bit less, so it's going to be a very long work in progress. I'm going to work solo on it, more or less. Probably will have some help, technical more precisely, but it's not going to include any kind of a team or something like that. Instead, it's going to be all about me trying to use the knowledge I have of Unreal Engine and all of my other experiences, professional experiences, and create something of a interesting experience in the gaming realm. Again, hopefully I don't fail miserably at it. So yeah, I wanted to create this episode just to give a small announcement of the same process. Again, hopefully it's not going to suck abysmally. And I will keep you updated as the project keeps going. I will name it and do more of these episodes about it. Hopefully you find it interesting, not I mean the finished game, but this kind of overview of the same process of creating that game. That's all for this episode. That's all I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for listening and for checking in. I appreciate it. Like always, if you're a first time listener, please consider subscribing to my channel or checking out my book on overcoming procrastination. The link is in the description below. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this. And yeah, check out my Patreon page and check out all of my patrons. All of that is in the description below. Until next week, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and bye bye.